Hi YouTube, it's Janelle here. In my last video, I talked to you guys about what your credit score is and why it's so important. If you haven't had a chance to watch that video, I'm gonna go ahead and put the link in the description box below. Make sure to check it out because there's some really good general information in there. Now in this video, I'm gonna focus more on how you can improve your credit score quickly. Most people are gonna talk to you about making your payments on time, and that is a very important part of your score. But I find that utilization is something that will impact your score much quicker. So my advice to you is going to be a little bit different. You have to keep your utilization low. What the heck does that mean? I know. In order for you to understand utilization, first you need to know how your credit score is calculated. 35% of your credit score comes from you making payments on time. 30% of your credit score is your utilization. 15% of your credit score comes from how long you've had credit for. 10% of your score is based on the mix of credit that you have. And the last 10% of your credit score comes from new credit that you have. We're gonna focus on talking about utilization because it's worth 30% of your score. That's a big chunk of your credit score. There's a lot of points that you can lose if your utilization is not good. What exactly does utilization mean? Utilization is how much of your total credit you're using or you're spending right now. Let's say you have a credit card like mine right here, and your total credit limit is $500. You're allowed to spend a certain percentage of that, a certain amount out of that 500 each month without losing too many points from your credit score. So how exactly are you going to know if the amount that you're spending is too much? In order for your utilization to be considered excellent, you need to have between 0 and 9% utilization. To be considered good, you need to have between 10 and 29% utilization. If you spend between 30 and 49% of your total credit limit, then your utilization will be considered fair. If you spend between 50 and 69% of your total credit limit, then your utilization will be considered poor. Now here, your credit score is going to take a very big hit. If you spend 70% or more, your utilization score is going to be very poor. Now at this point, your credit score is really going to take a hit. Remember, utilization is worth 30% of your total credit score. So that's a lot. It's going to impact your score a lot. The first thing you have to practice using is self-control. Keep in mind how much you should actually be spending regardless of what your credit limit is, and that's the amount you should be thinking is too much each month. Here's a trick that I like to use that I find to be really helpful. I'd say to myself, divide by 10, then spend. So let me give you an example. This credit card here has a total credit limit of $500. I'm gonna divide that by 10 and I'm gonna get 50. That's 10%. But I wanna be between 0 and 9% because I want my utilization to be excellent so I can get the most points in that category. So I'm going to subtract a couple dollars. So I'm gonna say, okay, 50 is 10%. Let me take a couple dollars away. Let me say 45 or 46. So in my mind, even though that credit card has $500 I can use each month, I'm never going to spend more than $46 a month. That can be really hard, okay? If I see something that I really want, it costs $100, I'm like, I've got the $100 on this card, I'll just pay it little by little. That's how you end up with a bad credit score over time. That becomes a habit. And then you end up paying just the minimum towards your payments, and you end up paying interest and all these other things. You really don't want to get into those habits. Start strong, divide by 10, then spend. One thing that I do want to talk about when it comes to utilization is that it doesn't just apply to one credit card or two credit cards individually. It actually applies to the total credit available to you. If you have 2 credit cards, what you're going to do is take the limit of each of these cards and combine them. So this card has $500, but this card has $200. So I'm going to add those together, and now I have $700 is the total credit that's available to me. That's what I'm going to go ahead and divide by 10. I'm going to say 700 divided by 10 is 70. I'm going to take a couple dollars away. That's going to be 68 bucks. I'm never going to spend more than $68 a month on both cards combined. Find out what your total credit limit is. Then divide by 10 and take away a couple dollars to be safe so that you can stay under 10%. And that will give you an idea of what the maximum amount of money you should be spending each month is. Go ahead and check online, look at all your credit card bills as they are right now, and see what can you do. Start making aggressive payments towards those cards and get your utilization down to be between 0 and 9%, to be at that number that you calculated. That will impact your credit score in a good way By the time you check your credit next month on your Credit Karma account that you created after watching my last video, you can log in. I guarantee it'll be much higher than it is now. Do your calculations and figure that out for yourself so that you can be between 0 and 9% each month and your utilization score can be excellent. Not just good, not just fair, but excellent. If any part of this video was confusing, I know there were a lot of percentages and a lot of numbers being thrown around in categories. The beauty of YouTube is you can rewind this video and watch it again. If you're still a little confused after you watch that 2 times, you can message me, you can comment below, and I will definitely reach out and help as much as I can. Or you can reach out to me privately at MissBeHelpful@gmail.com. If you have not subscribed yet to my channel, please go ahead and click this button next to my face and subscribe right now. Show me some love. If this video can help you out in any way, then I'm happy and I've done my job. That's all I have for you guys today. Peace.